Claire gave us a bit of an announcement halfway in that she actually doesn't know if marketing is going to be the right fit for her. And everybody's calling at the same time saying, "Where are you? Come get to my lawn now. I see a dandelion." Before we get into the video, please make sure you stay all the way till the end. I'll be going through a thorough checklist of everything that we do to make sure that we're ready for the upcoming lawn care season. So make sure you catch that. And without further ado, let's get back to the video. Good morning. It is a great day to be part of the Dirt Life. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a whole recap of our entire annual meeting that we just had over the course of the past 2 days and kind of compile everything that our company is going to be focusing on for these next 6 weeks before the lawn care tsunami. It's probably actually a little bit closer to 8 weeks away, but the lawn care tsunami is a very real thing. And in lawn care, you're either ready for it or you're not. You need to prepare now. You need to finalize your strategy now, because if that tsunami comes and you're not ready, it's gonna wash over you and it's gonna wipe you out unlike anything you've ever seen before. So we're gonna be dissecting everything that our team still needs to get ready for this upcoming season, so that when that wave of leads comes in and everybody's calling at the same time saying, "Where are you? Come get to my lawn now. I see a dandelion." You are ready for them. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. For those of you that don't know me, my name is James. I own Yard Dogs Lawn Care here in Canada. We did $2 million in revenue for 2023. 2024, we are going to shoot, I used to say 3 million, but we had our annual meeting, and drum roll please, it's actually gonna be 2.75 million in revenue. But with that, we're actually gonna be shooting for a 27.5% net profit before taxes. So those are some new goals of ours. We are pumped. Let's get right into everything. So we start off the meeting, of course, by just going over everything that we've been up to this past off season. So Nathan mentioned that he's planning a wedding. So he's been very busy doing that. Liam has a baby coming in 2 weeks for the middle of March. So he's been very busy with that. I bought a house that I'm moving into May 1st. So big changes coming our way. Claire spent a lot of time doing some courses and stuff. And you know what? We came together as a team and we really went over what we've been up to. And then we talked a little bit about what the agenda was going to be for the meeting. We needed to reevaluate our core focus, our niche, our mission statement, and our core values. So we spent a lot of time talking to each other about what do we want as a company? What are our 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year goals? Because we actually hadn't done that in a very long time. I like this ember look on me. I look like a movie actor all of a sudden. So we really focused on, are we still truly here to serve residential lawns in Calgary? Are we still in the niche of fertilization and weed control? What has changed? And we went through that, and we decided to pivot on a couple things. We made a couple, we dropped some things, we picked up a few new things, and we really got our heads into the right mode to plan out for the next 1, 3, and 5 years. But we didn't stop there. We then do something where it's a feedback ceremony. So we actually went through the room one by one to give each other feedback on what we thought you could improve on and what I think you've been doing very well. And we get pretty harsh on that. You saw in the video earlier that we got right into the nitty-gritty of that. So now that we've left these meetings and we've determined what we call rocks, which means our #1 priorities for this next quarter, we have a lot of work to do. So Nathan, he has to hire all of the technicians for the upcoming season, and he's going to be rocking 13 technicians this year. As you can see, guys, we are a lawn care company, not a mass-produced media company. We've got a budget for this one, so you'll have to bear with me as cameras fall down left, right, and center. Nathan's focusing on hiring 13 technicians, though. I believe only about 3 to 5 guys are coming back from last year, and we are growing, of course, but we only had about 9 technicians last year. So busy time for Nathan. He has a lot of hiring to do. 2 of our technicians got promoted, though, to service manager, so that's very exciting. Those are going to be the guys that are going to be managing the technicians directly as one-to-one reports. Each service manager has about 7 or 8 guys that he takes care of. Claire gave us a bit of an announcement halfway in that she actually doesn't know if marketing is going to be the right fit for her, and she wants to reassess her seat at the company. It's one of those situations where you have the right person, wrong seat. So we're just trying to work that out right now. Probably something around the customer service administrative tasks. Liam has a lot to do. He has to finalize our website because our website is still not done yet for the improvements that we're doing for the e-commerce. Liam also has to focus on finishing our procedures for operations and customer service, like the whole process that we host, so that we can get all the training down pat. Liam also has to focus on, he's probably taking on the marketing now. So he has to either do it himself or he has to hire an agency, or he has to find a person to do it. That's a big job. They also have a few metrics that they need to finalize. Liam's got some dashboards going up in the office for the sales team, for the customer service team, so he has a lot of work to do there. Myself, it is sales time, baby, so I need to find 2 studs, 2 killers, 2 hunters that are going to join our sales team. I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. Last year, myself, I sold over $1 million in new sales, and I need to pass on this knowledge. I'm right now, a lot of things are dependent on me. I'm a bottleneck in this business, and I need to pass on that torch to the next 2 guys. So one of them will be a full-time year-round fella, and the other one will probably be with us full-time, but just for the season that's coming up here, probably about a 4 or 5 months opportunity there. So I'm going to be relentless on making my sales procedure, because I gotta get all that stuff I do in my head, get it down on paper, get into the training, and really get that shared there. And I need to go find 2 studs that are going to join our sales team, and I gotta have them making money very quickly, because I need them to know that this is a good opportunity. If you have new salespeople that come in and they don't make money, guess what? They're gonna start shopping around for a better sales opportunity. I need to compete with the fact that they could go sell cars. They could go sell anything. They could go sell door to door. They could go sell for weed man. We would hate that to happen. So I need to make sure that we are a good opportunity. Guys, quick pit stop here at Walmart. I have a huge interview coming up today with the one and only Spencer Lawn Care on YouTube. And I just realized that my webcam, my camera that I'm gonna use for webcam, is missing an HDMI cord. So that's why we are here at Walmart. The dirt life has arrived. I almost have like this disability where I have such a hard time reading the tags. I just look at the pictures the entire time. So I'm just looking for a picture of what this micro HDMI to regular HDMI looks like. And that's how I'm gonna find it. And sometimes I can find things very fast. Sometimes it takes me forever. We're about to find out what's gonna happen today. I really hope they have one, because this is the only store open right now. And I need that cord for a solid podcast experience. I don't think this is gonna work. This is not what I came here to do, but I think I'll just give it a try, because I don't know what other options I have here. Couldn't find what I was looking for, but we'll make this work. So we did not find what we needed at Walmart for the podcast of Spencer Lawn Care, so I might have to sacrifice some visual quality on that podcast. I guess I'll have to just make up with this beautiful smile and some good verbal content. Let's go. So long story short, from the annual meeting, we came to the conclusion that we have a lot of work to do in a lot of the different departments. So operations wise, we have to make sure that all those technicians are going to get hired. They're going to get certified for weed control applications. They're going to get trained on the services, and they are good to go. Right now we're going through an El Nino, which means that it is dry, it is hot, and we might have an early season. We typically don't start lawn care until May 1st, but people start getting really itchy when they see that snow's melted and the birds are chirping. They start to go crazy that we haven't been there yet. In fact, some people treat lawn care like it's their heart surgery. Like if you reschedule on them, they're like, oh, I can't believe you rescheduled my weed control application. I took a week off work just so I could watch you spray the weeds. No! People go crazy. So you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to get to lawns very quickly, because if you don't, cancels come on in. Sales, we gotta get a tight team going. I gotta get that process on paper. I gotta hire a solid team. Customer service, Liam has to hire 2, if not 3 customer service reps to help us, because there's gonna be so many tickets coming in, and we need to be, and if we're gonna hit our goal of 2.75 million, we need to have at least a 70% retention. We're really trying to work up to an 80%. It is a grind though. But retention's everything, guys. If you have 100 clients in 2023 and you only have a 70% retention, that means that you lose 30 clients going to the next year, and you have to go sell 30 new packages, 30 more lawn care clients, just to break even with last year, just to get back on the same playing field. And then from there, you got to sell more to grow. So if you can get 85% retention, you are laughing. In fact, I believe truly the best retention possible is 93%, because people die, they move, they lose their jobs, etc. But if you're stuck at 50 or 60, like we have been for a long time, right now we're in the 60s still, trying to creep up to the 70s, it is hard to grow your business. So that is something that we are fanatical about. We are really focusing on how our onboarding with new clients goes, how the delivery of our products and services goes, and how when someone is requesting to cancel, they're not happy, what are we gonna do to truly make the happiest clients on planet Earth? So driving to the pound right now, I'm super excited to get this season going. I don't know about you. I don't know where the weather is where you are. Right now it's -2 Celsius where we are. There is still snow on the ground, but that season's going to come up quickly. The lawn care tsunami, guys, is a real thing. And you're either ready or you're not. And what I mean by lawn care tsunami is that you have a shit ton of leaves that come in a very short window. And that's the day that you're going to be getting 10, 15, 30, 50, 100 calls, 200 calls per day. And if you don't have a solid way to answer the phone and effectively book them or call your leads within 5 minutes of them submitting the form, you're going to miss out. And that lawn care tsunami is going to wipe you out, because the hard part about a lawn care is that it comes and goes very quickly, and you either capitalized on that peak or you didn't. The whole season's a bell curve. It's going to ramp up April or March. April's going. May and June are the peak, and it starts to taper off July, August, September. Then it's over. Then it snows. And then you start to reflect on what did you do wrong this year? What did you do good? You kind of try to reinvest that knowledge into the next year. So you gotta be ready for the tsunami. Trying to put the walls up. Time to prepare. Everything you've been putting off, do it now. And some things it's too late to do. If you're trying to fix your SEO right now, it's too late to do. But if you have some things like building a team, or if you need to guys, if you're on the fence about someone on your team and you need to let them go, do it now. Do not put it off. Because that person, if you truly think, if you've been putting this off, and be honest with yourself, are you being a wuss? You know, is that person truly, they're not the right person and they're in the wrong seat, or maybe it's the wrong person in the right seat, doesn't really matter, and you haven't let them go because you're being a pansy about it? It is time to let them go. Bite the bullet, because you probably still have time to get a new person and train them up. But the second you miss that opportunity window, you're going to be stuck with the miserable person on your team, and it's going to make you miserable, and you are not providing for your family. You are not doing anyone on your team a favor. Everybody looks at that person and says, really? James puts up with them? Why should I try? Like, what kind of company is this? Is that a standard? You letting go of people that are holding the company culture, the company standards down, is going to be a breath of fresh air for everyone, including yourself. You're going to sleep better. All the gray hairs on my head, there's not many, but there used to be a lot, came from people problems because I was taking too long to pull the trigger on what I knew was a bad fit, and I need to do something about it. All right, guys, so here's the checklist that we typically follow, and then this is going to be just sort of me thinking out loud as we go based on the different departments. And it's important that you do these different departments so that you can stay organized. So let's start with sales. Before the season starts, what happens if I got 100 leads overnight? What's the process? How I'm going to reach out to all of these people on a prompt basis. So you want to make sure that you have all of your scenarios figured out for your sequences. So if you call somebody and they don't answer, what do you do? If you call somebody and they say they're going to think about it and you're not able to close them, what do you do? If you call somebody and they want to book with you, what do? You need to have a flow set up, a sequence set up for all these different situations for your salespeople, so that when this happens, things are happening. What does the follow-up sequence look like for somebody? A new lead comes in, you call them right away, they didn't answer the phone. What's the process? So we have a special sequence on HubSpot that we follow where we enroll them, where it's going to send them an email right away, remind us to call them later that day, and then the next 10 days are a series of emails and calls. That needs to be set up. And it's different if somebody answers the phone and says, I need to think about it, and they don't book with you. That person gets a different kind of sequence. So make sure those ducks in a row. But if you had 100 leads coming overnight, what's the plan for these? A new lead comes in, and an incoming phone call is happening at the same time. Who gets priority? You need to make sure that you set these in stage. What are the discounts for the season? If somebody says, can you sharpen your pencil a little bit? How far are you willing to go to actually get the deal done? Is it $25 off? Is it $50 off? Will you $100 off? You need to make sure that there's a plan for that, because your salespeople, think of it like your salespeople and your team essentially, there are kids on a playground, and if they actually did a study on this, if you don't have a chain link fence, the kids really stay in the middle of the field and they don't go to the edge. But when you put a chain link fence around the school, the kids will test their boundaries. They will go all the way out to the fence. They don't go past the fence, but they'll actually cover way more square footage, because you've given them a frame of reference to work within. You've given them some sort of a boundary to work within, and they feel more free. As a result, they feel safer to roll around. So what boundaries have you set for your team when it comes to selling people? But what about saving people? If someone's calling and say, I want to cancel my services, how far is that customer service rep willing to go and able to go to save that person? Is it a discount? Is it a free service? Is it, I will literally be there right now to fix the problem kind of situation? What are your boundaries? So make sure that your boundaries are set up for sales, customer service, and technician. How much power do you authorize those people to have to do whatever it takes for your customers or do whatever it takes for the new sale? Determine that. Salespeople, do they have their professional email set up? Are their email signatures set up? Do they have access? Do they understand your CRM super well? Have you role play with them a ton so that they know all the different sales situations, how to overcome objections? Have you showed them all your CRMs? Have you showed them what they're allowed to do with their cell phones during the day? Are they allowed to be on social media? Or should they be calling? What is the standard that you set for them for how many calls they're supposed to do? Is it 50? Is it 100? What's the goal for sales? What are your daily sales goals? You should have it this day last year. What did we do in sales? We need to beat it this year. That's what we follow. And we're tracking something called CGA. It's called Customer Growth Analysis. How many cancels did we get that day? And how much in new sales did we get a day? Because if you made $5,000 in sales, but you did $6,000 in cancels, you're down $1,000. You should be tracking CGA. It doesn't really matter what you sell. It depends on what you keep. So let's make sure that we're not canceling clients. Let's make sure we're selling things. So salespeople, make sure that they are ready for that lawn care tsunami before it hits them in the face. Another thing essentially is, let's go to customer service. How far are they able to go? If you come in the next morning, there's 100 tickets that happened and 20 missed calls overnight. What's the process? What we do is we make sure that we go through all the ones that are immediate pertaining to the upcoming schedule this morning. So if someone emailed last night or called saying, don't come today, we're having a party, those people you better get to before the technician shows up to their house to actually do it. But guys, what are all your rules that you have as a company? How do you handle things in which order? Tickets, missed calls, incoming calls, incoming emails. For customer service, do you have enough people? Are you gonna be able to get through the peak season, but you don't wanna be overstaffed at the same time? How are you gonna keep that person busy July, August, September onwards? Do you need some short-term help? What is your tolerance for students? Do you take on students because they'll help you for 4 months and they go back to school? Or do you really need people that are gonna be year-round? What is your process for all of this? Operations, guys, is your equipment good to go? And I mean good to go. Zero problems, because you know what's really expensive? Buying new equipment's very expensive. Maintaining equipment's very expensive. But what's really expensive is when something breaks on the job and you can't do more work for that day. And that technician who you're paying by the hour is sitting there like this, fed up because they want to do work and they can't, and you have to go send out a service manager or you have to send out another technician, or you have to get in the truck and go fix their stuff. That is very expensive. So buying new is expensive, yes, but it's actually cheaper than having shitty equipment that's just breaking down all the time. So really determine, do you need to replace some stuff? Or can you really fix some stuff? Do you have spare stuff? What are the things that break down the most common in the field? And teach your technicians how to fix it right then and there in the field. So if it's a cotter pin, or if it's a wheel that falls off a spreader, hey, make sure they have the equipment and the extra parts that they need to fix that right then and there so they can spend 20 minutes fixing it and therefore continue doing their production for the rest of the day. Are your trucks good to go? What's your process for getting gasoline? Do you get gasoline when they are at the end of the day, at the start of the day? Do you have gas on site? They have to go to a gas station? When they go to the gas station, are they going in for snacks? Are they going in to use the washroom? How long are they actually spending at the pump? Are they using your Visa? Are they using their Visa? Are they asking you to reimburse them all the time? Do you have a company card? What is the process for all of this? Certifications. Are all your guys going to be certified for fertilizer and weed control? Weed control in particular based on your state. Do you have a proper chemical storage? Are you spraying things in a compliant way? Because if you haven't gotten audited already, you're going to get audited. We've had 4 audits in the past 2 years from Alberta Parks and Environment. And there's some things that we passed, but there's some things that we got a slap on the wrist for. And gosh, it could have been a lot worse if we weren't at least trying to follow the rules. Your uniforms. Do all the guys have clean uniforms every single day? And if their uniforms get dirty, do you have a way to wash them? Or do you have a spare uniform? Do they wash them? Do you wash them? Let's answer these questions, guys. Otherwise, your team is going to answer the questions for you, and it might not be the answer that you would have chosen. Your equipment, is it good to go? Are things going to work every single time? Do you have a backup equipment, backup truck, etc.? I realize, work within your budget. Don't have all these extra trucks lying around. 2022, we felt like a dealership because those trucks weren't getting on the road. But make sure that there's a plan in place for this stuff, guys. Uniforms, do they pay for the uniforms? Do you pay for the uniforms? What about the work boots? Do they have to have steel toe boot work boots, or can they be regular work boots? You have to make sure that essentially throughout this entire season, guys, when they get to the shop, at what time do they need to be driving out of the bays to get to the work, or out of your house, out of your garage? How long is a reasonable amount of time for them to actually come in? Are they loading up their fertilizer and weed control or their mowers, whatever equipment? Do they do that at the end of their shift for the next day, or do they do it the morning of? You know, how do you route people so that they're not driving through traffic and getting stuck in traffic all the time? They're on the roads before traffic starts and they're coming home before the rush hour essentially happens. Lay this out, guys. What is the process for everything? So playbooks, 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 write this stuff down. You have an incredible ability as a human being to think your way through things before they actually happen. We let our thoughts and ideas die so that people and real life things don't have to die. Like, we can run scenarios through our head. Our brains are constantly doing simulations of what's going to happen, and you get to call the shots, but it takes time and it takes a lot of practice and error. Like, obviously, I don't expect you to get all these ducks in a row in a season. We sure as hell haven't. But over time, build a standard operating procedure for everything that you can think of. What is the way that you want to get done? What is the tried and true way to get it done? And don't wing things, guys. Don't leave it up to chance. Take the time to figure this out so that you can kill and crush this upcoming season.